So if I go back to my journey when I first started the business back in 2010, I knew the biggest expense, just based on experience, is literally buying servers and licenses, and then everyone has to use Microsoft Office, right? So, and that's one of the dearest licenses what you can have, because it's basically it's the main. Effectively, it's like the default in you have to have that productivity suite. And I didn't want to have that expense as a startup, and I just thought, well, it's going to be so expensive. So I wanted something where I can have I can do everything now as an enterprise, but also scale without having loads of costs just put onto me, loads of hidden costs. So I was looking around all these different products and things around, and one of my friends basically said to me, have you seen this thing called Google Apps? And I said, well, what's Google Apps? So he showed me it all, and I thought, oh, okay. So I looked at it, and I basically implemented that as a business, because it gave us our email client, it gave us basically equivalent to Word, Excel and PowerPoint, all under one license scheme, and it gave us storage to save stuff in as well. So it worked really well for us at that sort of point. And I thought, hang on, if this is like literally works really well for us, why can't schools use this stuff? And then I found out that Google was basically looking at introducing it to schools, but giving it to schools free of charge.
Oh, wow.
So, and I'm thinking to myself, hang on, but the government's promoting all these things called virtual learning environments, which cost on minimum about £2,500 per school.
Wow.
And if you're a secondary school, you're paying like £5,000 or more than that. But Google's offering something equivalent for nothing. It doesn't sort of make sense. So we went down the road of basically implemented ourselves and used ourselves as a case study to show people this. And then from that, lots of schools then got interested in that because they want to save money but have the same, but don't want to lose functionality, which is key. And by doing that sort of Google stuff, it gave them their basic stuff of their emails, their productivity apps, and basic storage. The sort of things you have with a normal client server sort of setup. And those schools who basically been on a journey with myself, from our very first customers who've been on that journey, I know that when COVID hit them back in 2020, those schools were still able to continue teaching.
Yeah, of course.
They didn't stop.
Was cloud-based.
And then
you can access Google Docs from home, and the students can connect in as well, can't they?
And the government put a scheme together about getting learning quick, getting learning basically flexible learning in place while COVID, because they wanted to make sure basically children still can learn and teachers can still teach. And that was a big thing, and we got appointed by the government as one of a few companies in the UK to help schools transition to a Google platform to have something in place from there. And it's interesting, we actually worked with a lot of schools then all across the UK, helping them get set up quickly, things like that. But it was nice to actually look at the customer base we had at that point. They never had to do that. They literally was ready to go day one. That is all built for them. They had all their things like business continuity, all there, and children can learn and still continue doing that. And Google basically just gone on from strength to strength. So I know my last sort of podcast we had here was about security and AI.
Very important.
Well, AI is literally hasn't. It just keeps snowballing. Only this week, Google's released more AI stuff and things coming out of that sort of stuff as well.